Hello, my lovely rose garden. I'm Avalon,
And I'm Ray.
and we are jumping back into Throne of Ass. When we last left off, Cinderella was happening, and Cinderella is still happening, and it's gonna be worse.
I wish I was reading Cinderella Boy right now.
I wish I was reading Cinderella Boy. I wish I was Cashley McMansion, soup and all.
I wish I was suddenly a magical boy.
Okay, so they've got heart, star, and moon. What would your little symbol of power be? And what quality of humanity would you defend?
Oh, my symbol would be the deer, and my quality of humanity would be the right to do some stupid shit incomprehensible shit that no one understands.
Spontaneity, got it.
Yeah, that'll work.
Mine would be the rose, obviously. And I would be the defender of cringe. Not that I defend my own cringe, which you can observe.
Please.
Gotta put that plug in there. My supporters get access to the supporter exclusive series, Keep It in the Drafts, where we are currently dissecting what I wrote when I was 13 years old, and it is so bad. It's so bad. So bad, in fact, that I am rewriting it. And that is also supporter exclusive. So if you want to see my shitty middle school writing and me trying to make it work now, 20 years later, with no editing it at all, and you can also throw your own OC in there to make a cameo if you want to. It's been fun, honestly. It's really kind of let me have a creative outlet that's just so incredibly low stakes, despite my brain insisting that I make it higher stakes than it is.
Don't do it.
But I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think all the supporters are having fun with it. It's been a great time. And that is only one of the benefits of becoming a supporter of Roselin Books, which you can do here on YouTube by becoming a channel member. You can do it on Ko-fi or on Patreon. There are multiple ways that you can support what we do here and my books, my writing, etc. Okay, that's
Anyway,
the plug.
let's get this
Here we go.
out of the way.
He was lost. Lost in a...
So am I.
He's a lost one. Also, I've been playing Dot Hack a lot. Expect a lot of Dot Hack references because Yuri Lowenthal is my mental health right now. The man is saving my sanity one character at a time.
Anyway.
Lost in a world of which he'd always dreamed, her body was warm beneath his hand and her fingers were soft around his. He spun her and led her about the floor, waltzing as smoothly as he could.
Why would her hands be soft?
Isn't she wearing gloves? She should be wearing gloves.
I mean, I guess.
Someone should be wearing gloves here.
I think she's wearing gloves. Well, like, I'm just over here, like, aren't her hands, like, calloused and shit? Like, why would her hands be soft?
They're soft now, because that's sexier.
Yeah, whatever.
She didn't falter a single step, nor did she seem to care about the many angry female faces that watched as dance after dance passed and they didn't switch partners.
Jealous bitches, TM. Necessary to any book about girl hate.
Yep. Of course, it wasn't polite for a prince to dance with only one lady, but he couldn't focus on anything beyond his partner and the music that carried them onward.
Hadn't he already danced with other people before this?
Yeah.
Whatever.
You certainly have a lot of stamina, she said. When had they last spoken? It could have been 10 minutes or an hour ago. The masked faces around them blurred together. While some parents hit their children, mine also punished me with dancing lessons. Then you must have been a very naughty boy. She glanced... What is this dialogue?
Just dying.
I was already like,
Squirtle.
Some parents hit their children. Mine also made me go to dance. Like, what the fuck is that? Followed by, oh, you must have been not. What the fuck am I reading?
What am I reading?
Where are we?
Where are we?
She glanced around the ball as if she were looking for something or someone. You're gracious. Oh, sorry, that's him. You're gracious with your compliments tonight. He twirled her. The skirts of her gown sparkled underneath the chandelier. It's your mess, she said. Everyone's kind on your mess. A flash of what he could have sworn was pain shone in her eyes, but it was gone before he could be certain of it.
Oh, she's got some tragic backstory with Christmas.
He caught her around the waist, his feet moving to the beat of the waltz. What a... I mean, I guess it's technically true, but what a weird way to phrase that.
Yeah.
The beat of the
It'd
waltz.
be more like the tune of the waltz.
The cadence?
The cadence of the waltz. It's waltz aren't generally kind of thump, thump, thump. They're more...
Yeah, like, I guess in technical terms, it's not incorrect.
It just does not sound right.
The connotation of beat is such
Yeah.
that, like they're not bopping around to a pop number.
Yeah, once again, this really should have been seen by an editor or 5.
And how's your present? Oh, she hid under my bed, then in the dining room, which is where I left her. You locked the dog in your dining room? Should I have kept her in my bedroom where she could ruin the carpet, or in the gaming room where she might eat the chess pieces and choke? Perhaps you should have sent her to the kennels where dogs belong. That's not me, that's him. On you, miss? I couldn't think of sending her back to that wretched place. So you just left her in the dining room, unaccompanied and afraid.
Yeah.
I didn't expect the dog to get mentioned again. I almost prefer that she didn't. He suddenly felt the urge to kiss her hard upon the mouth. Again, that's not me, that's in the book.
Okay, we're bringing it back. Boop. Stupid button.
The stupid button returns.
The stupid button returns from our 50 Shades of Grey reading. Just like a character says something that should piss the other character off, but suddenly the author reaches in. Boop.
You're no longer mad.
You're no longer mad about this.
You find this sexy.
You find this sexy for some reason.
Like, not even mad, just, the mildest of eyebrow raises. Like, this is bad animal husbandry. Like, Don't leave your animal in the dining room.
She was literally just gifted this puppy and she's already mistreating it.
Well, in the kennels, where there's other dogs around and people who know how to take care of dogs, and the kennels are specifically designed to house the dogs.
Yeah.
Why isn't she?
Why is she calling it a wretched place, but she literally locked this dog in her kitchen?
Like that's any better? At least the kennels have things that dogs like and need. Anyway. But this, what he felt, it could never be real. Because once the ball was over, she would go back to being an assassin, and he would still be a prince. Dorian swallowed hard.
We're really back in 50 Shades of Grey, aren't we? Hard.
For tonight, though, he held her closer, everyone transformed into mere shadows on the wall. POV switch tilde.
Okay.
Frowning, Kale watched his friend dance with the assassin. He wouldn't have danced with her anyway, and he was glad he hadn't worked up the nerve to ask her, not after seeing the color that Duke Parrington's face turned upon discovering the pair.
Honestly, okay, but between the mention of child beating and the stupid button and hard, you better make the title of this episode like a return to the 50 Shades of Grey reading.
50 Shades of Glass.
50 Shades of Glass.
No, I was already planning on that, yeah.
It's just like, oh my god.
The moment we got to the second hard in the paragraph, I was like, oh, okay, so we're just going there now. It's just gonna be 50 Shades of Grey. All right, got it.
Grey. Our sins are crawling on our backs.
I'd say I'm turning in my grave, but I'm not even lucky enough to be sleeping in my coffin. So, anyway. And Kale's totally not jealous, guys.
Okay.
She's stealing your mans, Kale. Get in there. A courtier named Otho. Why do I know the name Otho?
It's the fucking the fruity little guy that Delia Dietz hires to like do
That's
the
right.
thing.
Day-o. Misa day, Misa day, Misa day, Misa day.
Well, no, it's yeah, like it's after that. He's the one that
Yeah,
brings the
he's the
Maitlands
guru.
back to life. But yeah,
As my guru Otho always
the
says.
pretty little guy. You know, everyone's
Finally.
gotta have one.
Okay, well that's who I'm imagining now. I cannot do the voice. But that's who I am imagining.
Yeah. Just like fruity and monotone at the same time.
Casting shade upon all. Casting
Yes.
aspersions upon thy character. And your tacky interior design.
Exactly. Exactly, just like that.
I love Beetlejuice.
Damn.
A courtier named Otho stepped beside Kale. I thought she was with you. Who, Lady Lillian? So that's her name. I've never seen her before. Is she newly arrived to court? Yes, said Kale. Tomorrow he'd have a word with her guards about letting Alysicles out tonight. Hopefully by then he'd be less inclined to knock their heads together. How are you doing, Captain Westfall? Otho said, clapping him on the back a bit too hard. His breath reeked of wine. You don't dine with us any more. I stopped dining at your table 3 years ago, Otho. You should come back. We miss your conversation. It was a lie. Otho only wanted information about the foreign young lady. His reputation with women was well known in the castle, so well known that he had to seize courtiers as they arrived or go into Rifthold for a different sort of woman. What the fuck?
So I guess he's like handsy.
What a random character to just throw into this scene out of fucking nowhere.
Well, you
that
know,
apparently Kale has like a history with? What the fuck is this?
Kale,
What the fuck is this chapter?
Kale hung around with the wrong queers for a while. He hung around with the bad crowd
I'm just
before becoming the prince's boyfriend.
like there's a whole like toxic yaoi BL drama in the back here.
Something's happening here.
Handsy with women. Bullshit. His name is Otho.
Anyway.
Kale watched Dorian dip Alysicles, watched the way her lips widened in a smile and her eyes burst with light as the crown prince said something. Even with the mask on, Kale could see the happiness written across her face. Is he with her? Otho asked. The Lady Lillian belongs to herself and no one else. So she's not with him? No. Otho shrugged. That's strange. Why? Kale had the sudden urge to strangle him. Because it looks like he's in love with her, he said, and walked away. My God, this is so... Okay, we've been tearing into my actual middle school writing, and this feels like something that 13-year-old me would have written. In fact, I'm pretty sure 13-year-old me probably did write something like this, and I will rip into it as much as I'm gonna rip into it here. Because, oh my God, having a character literally just show up to be like, oh, they look like they're in love, and then walk away.
And then disappear.
Just leave this series.
Fuck right off.
Otho came here to do one thing and then left. And I'm like, did Otho need to exist? Could Kale not have simply just looked at them and been, a little bit worried that they're getting too close and...
No, we gotta point it out explicitly because the reader is stupid.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Kale hasn't already been doing this, so I guess now we just need to have another random side character pop into existence to say, oh yeah, it's obvious to everybody.
Why can't we have Lady Caltane pointed out?
Yeah, or...
She's already here.
Anyone who already exists.
And she's already, fucking out for Selena about her vicinity to the prince. So it's all like, she would be the perfect character to point this out.
Or even Duke Parrington. He's already been mentioned as, seeing the color Parrington's face turned upon discovering the pair.
We have so many named characters already that are significant that could point this out. Heck, even the queen should point this out.
Yeah, the queen has a vested interest in his romantic life.
Yeah, she's trying to get his ass married. And so I'm just over here like, Did we really have to do this?
It's we really had to call in Otho, Guru to Delia Deets, to point out the obvious to Kaol, like we're on fucking Queer Eye or something. I don't care what character.
Queer Eye for the bi guy.
For real, the closeted bi guy. I don't care what character Otho is given in the book because I'm associating him with a character from Beetlejuice, and that's who he is now. And it doesn't matter because he only exists for like 3 paragraphs and then will promptly stop existing forever. He can be whatever I want him to be.
He is Otho from Beetlejuice. He just manifested into this book and is like, I want to leave as quickly as possible. This is tacky. Everything is heterosexual.
It's like, oh, I cannot thrive in this environment. Kaol's eyes lost focus for a moment. He just...
One eye sees me, the other sees a snap machine.
He did that meme where it's like, look at your camera and then look past your phone. Delightful. Then Alyssicles laughed and Dorian kept staring at her. The prince hadn't once taken his eyes off her. Dorian's expression was full of something. Joy, wonder. His shoulders were straight, his back erect. That's not the only thing. He looked like a man, like a king. Oh, I bet you noticed him looking like a man.
Kaol just...
Kaol, tone it down. I get it, bark, bark, but also, like, calm down. It was impossible for such a thing to have occurred, and when would it have happened? Otho was a drunk and a womanizer. What did he know of love? Otho knows plenty, okay? Shut the fuck up. Respect your elders.
Otho is a womanizer in the fact that he's like the gay bestie that gets all their info. Let's be real.
Toxic gay bestie.
Toxic gay bestie who's all like, if he doesn't respect you,
you're gone.
You're gone. Now go chop his dick.
Otho is the yeah, girl, get yourself a little treat. Get that 5th latte. And then he's like posting on Instagram like
can't believe this bitch is ordering a 5th latte when we're supposed to be boycotting Starbucks.
The little hair toss.
The nail painting emoji.
Is it us? Are we the toxic gay bestie? Chat, confirm?
I know 100% I'm a toxic gay bestie.
Oh my god.
I am the toxic gay bestie to everyone at my workplace.
That's true.
Every moment I go into the staff lounge, I just slam my bag down, stand one leg up on top of the table, and I'm like, what are we bitching about today, girls?
Spill the tea. And they love you there.
They do.
They truly do love you.
They do.
I just want to brag about my husband for a moment and his amazing employee reports that he keeps bringing home. I keep sticking them on the fridge because I'm so proud of him. Because every time his performance is reviewed, it's like 4 stars, top notch. The maximum score is 4, by the way, so that is 100%. He is killing it. And he is slaying it at the same time. Amazing. 10 out of 10.
Killing
I
and
love
slaying.
him. He's so cool. I love my
Synonyms
husband so much.
So many synonyms for murder.
Caw-caw.
Caw-caw.
Anyway. See, I have to be a positive role model all day at my job. When I get home, I'm just like, let all that shit out.
Dun, da, 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 da. Let's go, guys.
Like, I'm gonna be so toxic. I'm gonna create a persona that is so toxic.
I'm going to create an environment that is so toxic. Literally well...
That's enough of that.
That's
Anyway.
enough. Last night I was having a really toxic conversation with some of our friends about lying to companies to get free shit for sponsorships.
We've all done it.
Because okay, here's some tea. Here's some tea, everyone. Some behind the scenes for
The Rose Garden.
for everyone really listening. So okay, there was like this Huion tablet sponsorship that was going around with art YouTubers for a while.
Yeah.
And basically the setup for it is that Huion would email these YouTubers and art influencers and whatnot asking for the specs of their current tablet, and they would send one with identical specs but was Huion brand to them for free to review.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just over here like, if I got that sponsorship, and I'm saying this solely because I know I would never get this sponsorship.
We don't do sponsorships
We
here.
don't do sponsorships here.
Who the fuck would sponsor us?
But I'm just over here like, if I ever got that email, like fuck, I would actually give them the specs of my tablet. I would give them the specs of the highest end tablet I could find and be all like, this is what I'm using. Send me that. And it's like,
I mean,
and you know, especially because they weren't paid for these sponsorships. The payment was the new tablet.
Yeah.
So it's all like, you're just getting a second of the same tablet that you're already using. So, you know, why not upsell?
I mean, plus if they, assumedly, you're receiving it in return for a positive review.
Yeah.
So send me your best product.
Yeah, send me your best product. Don't send me the same exact thing of a thing that I'm already using, basically. I'm just all like, no, send me send me the highest end spec thing that you have. That's why I would never send the specs of what I'm actually using. I would just be all like, oh yeah, looks up on the Wacom site, goes to like their most expensive shit, and be all like, yeah, this is what I'm using. Send me something
Send me
similar.
that. See, now I'm just thinking about the one time that
I
we
lie
actually...
to companies.
Lying to companies is always morally correct.
It's true.
But anyway,
companies aren't people.
I'm now thinking about the one and only time that we were ever offered a sponsorship.
I was talking about that last night. I was just
I know.
Yeah.
I know everything you were talking about last
That's
night.
because I'm loud.
Yeah. You had your headphones on, so you couldn't tell your volume.
I'm a loud bitch.
Anyway, so...
the eyes you just gave me.
Anyway, so this was bringing it back to 50 Shades of Grey again.
No! This is just 50 Shades all over again.
It truly is, because I think there was, and this is how I knew that this channel, or not channel, this sponsor did not actually watch our videos, and I'm pretty sure it was a scam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously it was.
Yeah. But, like, in my heart of hearts, in my dreams, I wish that it wasn't, because it would be so funny. Because I got an email regarding a sponsorship offer from an adult toy company.
Yeah.
Specifically, you know.
And I remember this.
And it was after one of our 50 Shades of Grey videos got, like, a decent amount of views. Like, nothing on that channel ever really, you know, went viral aside from Warrior Cats content. But the 50 Shades videos had a decent number of views comparative to everything else on my channel.
Yeah.
And we got, like, an ad or, like, a sponsorship offer being like, oh, we'll send you, like, some...
adult toys.
Yeah, some products.
And we, like, went on their...
try out.
I remember we went on their site and it was, like, really sketch.
Yeah, it looked like they were a drop shipper for, like, other companies.
Yeah. And we literally just emailed back basically, like, this you link.
Pretty much.
And they never responded.
They never respond. Well, and also I was like, so you do realize that we don't post videos of ourselves. Like, it's literally just an avatar. It wasn't even to the degree of being a PNG tuber.
Yeah.
It was just a static image of the three of us and the 50 Shades cover. And I'm like, yeah, like, sure, if you want to send me some shit. I'm also ace and have never had sex in my life. So good luck. I'll review how it looks. I'll review the aesthetic of
I'll review it. But I'm just over here like, yeah, they probably just
really
saw
did
like
not understand what
the rated 18 tag and we're all like, sexy YouTubers.
A thing-
Not knowing that we were the least sexy people on the planet.
And we're still not. Okay, time to move on. That's enough shenanigans.
They come for the shenanigans, they live for it.
Dorian spun Alyssocles with speed and dexterity, and she snapped.
Snapped in half!
And she snapped into his arms. But imagine though, he spins her like that scene from the Stepford Wives remake.
Yes! I love that remake. I don't care if everyone is like, oh, it's so trash compared to the original. Fuck you, I love it.
It is trash, but we are trash pandas.
It's my garbage. It's like really good garbage. Everyone's all like, ah, the first one is such like in-depth commentary on the feminism movement of the time. And I'm all like,
And
yeah,
it
but
is.
this one has Nicole Kidman in it.
This
So
is
who's
good.
really winning here?
This is good, but I like this. Anyway, God, I wish she snapped in. And she snapped into his arms, her
I
shoulders.
blend close in Nicole Kidman. It's really all I fucking need.
Her shoulders rising with exhilaration. But she wasn't in love with him. Otho hadn't said that. He had seen no attachment on her part, and Alyssocles would never be that stupid. Bitch! Candy!
She literally does like 7 stupid things the moment she's out of your purview. And sometimes when she's in your purview, boy.
She does 5 dumb things within the sight line and 7 dumb things when she's out of sight. That's 12 dumb things. That's as many as a 10 and 2 1s. And that's terrible. You can never tell me, oh, she wouldn't be that stupid. Candy. That's all I have to say. Candy.
You're literally saying that she pulls some stupid crap every time that we see her do a challenge, which is probably why we're not seeing her do challenges anymore. Because every time she does something fucking stupid as hell.
Yep. It was Dorian who was the fool. Dorian who would have his heart broken if he did actually love her. Unable to look at his boyfriend any longer, the captain of the guard left them all. Anytime it says friend, I'm just gonna say boyfriend. And
Okay.
the polycule is falling apart.
It just the polycule is in fucking shambles. Probably because they're not meant to be a polycule. None of them are polyamorous.
The fucking April-November girlfriend is moving in on May-August boyfriend stir. I just discovered this. I've been watching Strange Aeons recently. Anyway, POV switch tilde. Catherine watched in rage and agony.
Melting. Damn, bitch, I was wondering when you would show up.
Why weren't you here earlier?
Why did we get Otho just randomly teleporting in?
How dare you? How dare you come to me now when I have this? Do you love us quoting better works of fiction at you? Do you realize that you could be watching The Last Unicorn right now?
I just realized that, and I'm very sad.
Or reading The Last Unicorn right now?
I realized that, and I'm very sad.
Just saying, Peter S. Beagle popped his Peter S. Bussy with that one.
It's true.
Would you still rather be reading The Last Unicorn? Yes, you would.
Yes, of course. I would always rather be reading The Last Unicorn. That's a good fucking book.
And every time you pick it up from now on, you're gonna hear my voice in your ear saying Peter S. Bussy.
You know what? I think Peter S. Beagle would be down for it, honestly.
He would. He's a real one. Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Watched in rage and agony as Lillian they gave her the most obnoxious last name.
Lillian
Gordana
Gordania?
Gordaina.
Gordania?
But I want to say like Gordania. Like
Whatever. Just say whatever.
Gordo.
Alyssocles, fucking, what's the,
Alyssocles Schmishicles.
what's the,
And
Gordita, Alyssocles Gordita Crunch.
The Crunch Wrap Supreme.
The Crunch Wrap Supreme.
And the
This has
crown
just gone through from worst to the best.
and the crown prince of Aderlin danced and danced and danced. Even with a much more concealing mask, she would have recognized the upstart. Yeah, why is it a masquerade ball? No one is fooled by anything.
No one's fucking fooled. Well,
And-
I guess because it's, generally, like, even at masquerade balls,
You having a fun stimmy time with our new rug?
I'm doing my best right now. Leave me alone. But yeah, even, like, back then, masquerade balls, people knew each other's faces. I know you wouldn't understand that, but like,
Wow.
people knew each
Wow.
other's faces.
Wow.
You know it to be true.
Wow.
You know it to be true.
Wow.
You know it to be true, bitch.
Wow.
But anyway, people knew each other.
Blocked and reported.
You can't block and report me. I help pay the mortgage.
Shit.
Anyway.
Financial abuse.
Anyway, so back then, like, people still knew each other's faces, and the mask was just kind of a, like, symbolic thing.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like, oh, we're mingling with the classes, and hee no one knows who you are.
Except, it was usually all rich people anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
But-
especially the further on it got, it's all like, how many fucking Russian serfs do you think were invited to, like, balls at the Imperial Palace?
Well, yeah, but like even within the aristocracy,
But yeah.
you still have like ranks.
Yeah, but still, it's like, it's, there's still all a bunch of rich people.
But like, there's no even the romanticism of it is that it's like, who is that mysterious
Yeah.
woman? But everyone knows who the fuck she is. God damn it, SJM can't even write a masked ball right.
Yeah, you can't even write, like, the idea of what a masked ball was supposed to be, even though we all know it wasn't like that.
So dumb.
It wasn't like that.
Also, I love Ray stimming with the new rug that I got for my birthday. You will see it in product photos on my coffee soon.
It's covered in my feet now.
Well, I'll have to wash it, I guess. But
My feet are clean. I took a shower.
anyway, so product photos, you'll see it. Coffee plug. There we go. Anyway, moving on. And what sort of person wore gray to a ball? Caltaine looked down at her dress and smiled. Bright shades of blue, emerald, and soft brown, her gown and matching peacock mask had cost as much as a small house. It was all a gift from Parrington, of course, along with the jewelry that decorated much of her neck and arms.
Girl, you are being, like, manipulated and controlled by this, like, middle-aged man. Get out of there, girl. Get out.
It was certainly not the dull, drab mess of crystal that the conniving harlot wore. We got more girl hate.
Conniving.
I mean,
harlot.
we knew, but
Yeah. I'm just
project a little harder.
come on, guys.
Parrington stroked her arm, and Caltaine turned to him with fluttering eyelashes. You look handsome tonight, my love, she said, adjusting a gold chain across his red tunic. His face quickly matched the color of his clothes. She wondered if she could bear the repulsion of kissing him. She could always keep refusing, just as she had for the past month, but when he was this drunk... She would have to think of a way out as soon as possible, but she was no closer to Dorian than she'd been in the early autumn, and would certainly make no progress with Lillian in the way. A precipice opened before her. Her head gave a brief, faint throb of pain. There were no other options now. Lillian had to be eliminated. Time skip, tilde, and possibly POV as well. We've been so massively unhinged this episode. We should not break this long between recording again.
Nah. They enjoy it. Don't
When-
you guys? You enjoy us being unhinged and tired.
Yeah. I'm gonna go play Dot Hack after this. When the clock chimed 3 and most of the guests, including the Queen and Kaol, had left, Alyssocles finally decided that it was safe for her to leave, so she slipped from the ball when Dorian went to get a drink and found Ress waiting outside to escort her back. Oh, this poor guard had to stay there all night. Also, make Ress a real character.
Yeah.
The halls of the castle were silent as they strode to her room, taking the empty servants' passages to avoid any too curious courtiers learning more about her. Even if she'd gone to the ball for the wrong reasons, she had had some fun dancing with Dorian. More than some, actually. She smiled to herself, picking at her nails as they entered the hallway that led to her rooms. The rush of having Dorian look only at her, talk only to her, treat her as if she were his equal, and more, hadn't yet worn off. Maybe her plan hadn't been such a failure after all. This is such a... I mean, on the one... Okay. I know that show versus tell is the typical go-to advice, which I do generally agree with, but there are times that telling is just in better service of the pacing and plot.
Yeah.
You can't show absolutely fucking everything without being a little bit over bloated. Sometimes you just gotta tell some shit.
Mm-hmm.
This feels so rushed, though, considering how long we have had of just, oh, it was a magical evening, and like we have spent so long on just how characters feel about Dorian and Selena dancing that having Selena just immediately be like, oh, well, didn't stop any royalty murders, but had a fun time, like...
Well, I think the main issue is that this book has been, like, 90% tell at this point.
Yeah.
Like, there's very little show because every exciting thing tends to happen between chapters.
Yeah, but like this feels even more tell than the other tell stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Other than than her falling asleep in the middle of the church sermon.
Falling asleep in the middle of the war!
Anyway.
Rest cleared his throat, and Elisicles looked up to see Dorian standing outside her rooms chatting with the guards. He couldn't have stayed long at the ball if he'd beaten her back here. Her heart pounded, and they went inside. Let Rest and the guards think what they wanted. She unfastened the mask from her face, tossing it onto the table in the center of the foyer, and sighed as the cool air met her flushed skin.
That dog has torn up that fucking kitchen.
Oh, there is shit everywhere.
There is shit and piss everywhere.
Well, she asked, leaning against the wall beside the door to her bedroom. Dorian approached her slowly, halting only a hand's breadth away. A hand's breadth. It's a hair's breadth.
Yeah.
As in breadth with a D, as in the width of a hair.
Yeah.
A hand's breadth. What the fuck is that?
Moroku. Reverse Moroku. Shoots air at you.
Wind tunnel. More like wind funnel, am I right?
Girl, what?
You left the ball without saying goodbye, he said, and braced an arm against the wall beside her head. He copied on her! She raised her eyes, examining the black detail on the sleeve that fell just above her hair. I'm impressed you got up here so quickly, and without a pack of court ladies hounding after you. Perhaps you should try your hand at being an assassin.
No.
He can't be worse than you are. He shook the hair out of his face. I'm not interested in court ladies, he said thickly, and kissed her.
He said thickly?
And kissed her.
Yeah, but thickly? How do you say something thickly?
I don't know. Thick with emotion?
Sound like you're gagging on your words a little bit.
See, like, I'm fine with shit like growled and hissed and shit.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna rag on thickly too much.
I just have a very hard time conceptualizing how one says something thickly as opposed to growled or hissed.
Hey,
like,
at least those are auditory.
Those are, like, yeah, just, like, shorthand for, you know, things. You have heard people do these things in movies.
At the very least.
Whereas thickly.
And I'm just sitting here like, wow, what a perfectly wasted opportunity to do the Cinderella thing of having him come return her shoe that fell off or something. Like, this whole ball scene has been one of the few times that we have actually stuck to the premise that this originally was of a Cinderella retelling, and you didn't stick the landing on the most iconic part.
Yeah.
Wow. Also, he's kissing her now.
Yeah, okay.
His mouth was warm, and his lips were smooth, and Elisicles lost all sense of time and place as she slowly kissed him back. He pulled away for a moment, looked into her eyes as they opened, and kissed her again. It was different this time, deeper and full of need. Her arms were heavy and light all at once, and the room twirled round and round. She couldn't stop. She liked this, liked being kissed by him, liked the smell and the taste and the feel of him. His arms slipped around her waist, and he held her tightly to him as his lips moved against hers. She put a hand on his shoulder, her fingers digging into the muscle that lay beneath. How different things were between them than when she'd first seen him in Endovier. Not really, though, and that's the problem. Are things really all that different between you?
No.
Because I guarantee in like a chapter or two, you're going to be like, that damn prince, he's too attractive. Royal shouldn't be pretty. Like, I don't buy that enough has changed about their dynamic, because even shortly after leaving Endovier and shit, they were kind of doing the whole banter back and forth. Like, they've been doing that the whole time. At no point has he treated her as a truly credible threat to his life, and she has been low-key attracted to him the entire time. This is not a dynamic shift. This is just two horny, 18, 19-year-olds being in proximity to each other and being horny.
Yeah.
But okay. Her eyes opened. Endovier. Why was she kissing the Crown Prince of Aeriel?
Literally! Oh, so
not even a
fast.
chapter. Not even a page. The next line is just, oh wait, he's supposed to be my mortal enemy. So nothing has changed, really. Her fingers loosened, and her arm dropped to her side. He removed his mouth from hers and smiled. It was infectious. Dorian leaned forward again, but she smoothly put 2 fingers against his lips. I should go to bed, she said. He raised his eyebrows. Alone, she added. He removed her fingers from his mouth. He tried to kiss her, but she easily swung under his arm and reached for the door handle. She had opened the bedroom door and slid inside before he could stop her. She peered into the foyer, watching as he continued to smile. Good night. Dorian leaned against the door, bringing his face close to hers. Good night, he whispered, and she didn't stop him as he kissed her again. He broke it off before she was ready, and she almost fell onto the ground as he removed his weight from the door. He laughed softly. Good night, she said again, heat rushing to her face. Then he was gone. Elisicles strode to the balcony and flung open the doors, embracing the chill air. Her hand rose to her lips, and she stared up at the stars, feeling her heart grow and grow and grow. Girl, are you the Grinch?
Bitch, be the Grinch up in here. Her heart literally grew.
3
1, 2, 3
sizes.
sizes.
POV, switch tilde. Dorian walked slowly back to his rooms, his heart racing. He could still feel her lips on his, smell the scent of her hair, and see the gold in her eyes flickering in the candlelight. Consequences be damned. He'd find a way to make it work. He'd find a way to be with her. He had to. He had leapt from the cliff. He could only wait for the net. POV, switch tilde again. In the garden, the captain of the guard stared up at the young woman's balcony, watching as she waltzed alone, lost in her dreams. But he knew that her thoughts weren't of him. She stopped and stared upward. Even from a distance, he could see the blush upon her cheeks. She seemed young. No, new. It made his chest ache. Still he watched until she sighed and went inside. She never bothered to look below. The polycule is in shambles.
The polycule is in shambles because the polycule never existed. We're suffering.
And that's it. That's the end of that.
That's fucking it.
Assumedly, no more Cinderella stuff will happen. A lot of the rest of the chapters are pretty short. But that's all we're probably up for recording tonight, given the amount of rants we went on for this one. So thank you for listening. If you like us, please support us. And good night.
Good night.
Thank you for watching all the way to the end. My deepest gratitude goes out to my supporters, who you'll see on screen here and also in the description. If you'd like, you could become a member of the Rose Garden by supporting me on Patreon, Ko-fi, or by buying my books. And don't forget that for an indie author like me, every like, comment, and subscription is a huge help. Good night, my lovely rose garden.